Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Andy. Andy is the pet form of Andrew, Andreas, and Andres. Andy ultimately originated from the Greek name Andreas, stemming from andr, which translates into man or warrior. Andrew is the name of the first disciple called by Jesus in the New Testament. A Galilean fisherman and the brother of St. Peter, St. Andrew was a follower of John the Baptist and one of the first to recognize Jesus as the Messiah. After the resurrection, St. Andrew went on to preach in Asia Minor and Greece. He became one of the most popular saints in the Middle Ages and was chosen to be the patron saint of Russia, Greece, and Scotland. It has long been a widely popular boy's name in the English-speaking world, but particularly in Scotland. All forms of this name are very popular throughout the Western world. Andy developed as a pet form of the anglicized Andrew. Remarkably, it has been in use as an independently given name for at least 2 or 3 centuries. Personality of the boy name Andy. The number 8 personality has everything to do with power, wealth, and abundance. Somehow, this personality has been blessed on the material plane, but their authoritative and problem-solving traits provide evidence that their good fortunes are not just the luck of the lottery. They are well earned. This is the personality of CEOs and high-ranking military personnel. 8s are intensely active, hard-driving individuals. Success is only meaningful to them after a job well done. They are remarkable in their ability to see the larger picture right down to the smallest details, and organize a strategy around success. They then have the ability to direct a group around them toward any goal, and realize individual potential to get the most out of their team. Popularity of the boy name Andy. Andy has maintained pretty moderate levels of success consistently on the US naming charts for well over a century. We were surprised to see the steady usage of Andy as an independently given male name. We still think of it as a nickname. It seems that many people out there in fact prefer Andy as a standalone name to the more traditional Andrew. It definitely sounds more masculine and to the point. Andy is a no-nonsense choice for a boy. It's strong and manly yet also upbeat and energetic. Keep in mind, though, that Andy is also a nickname for girls, for Andrea. Quick facts on Andy. Gender, boy. Origin, English. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, 293. Pronunciation, AND. Simple meaning, manly. Characteristics of Andy. Authoritative, problem solver, tenacious, wealthy, tough, powerful, achiever. Cultural references to the baby name Andy. Literary characters of the baby name Andy. Raggedy Andy is the companion boy doll to Raggedy Ann, the rag doll created by Johnny Gruelle for his daughter, Marcella, and introduced to the public in a series of delightful books he wrote and illustrated, beginning in 1918. Andy was presented in 1920 with Raggedy Andy stories. He wears a sailor suit and hat and has shoe button eyes, red yarn for hair, and a big cheery smile. Andy and all the dolls in the nursery have great adventures after Marcella has gone to bed at night, because of course, that is when they can talk and run around and play and laugh, when no one is looking. Perhaps the stories may seem a little saccharine to today's savvy generation of children, but Andy and his sister doll are enormously popular. Raggedy Andy joined the National Toy Hall of Fame in 2007, having been preceded by his big sister in 2002. Andy Brown is one half of the comedy team called Amos and Andy, an African-American-based situation comedy on radio and television from the 1920s through the 1960s. Andy, voiced by the white Charles Corral, was the egotistical big dreamer, who does a little more dreaming than working, in contrast to the modest and industrious Amos Smith. Andy and Amos, and later their sidekick, the Kingfish, have hilarious adventures among their friends and families and their colleagues at the Mystic Nights of the Sea. Of course, the program was inappropriate in some of its depictions of blacks, but by and large, the blustering Andy is about the only one who doesn't hold a steady job, play a profession, or own his own business. Nonetheless, as funny as it was, as endearing and enduring, so said almost 40 million listeners, making it one of the most popular shows of all time. It eventually fell victim to the many outraged voices raised in opposition to its existence. Probably rightly so, but undoubtedly among those 40 million were not just a few African Americans who saw Andy as just another lovable bumbler, no matter his color. Andy Capp is the cartoon character created by the British cartoonist, Reg Smythe, first appearing in 1957. He is a shiftless, unemployed, hard-drinking, fight-picking, pigeon racing, dart-playing, womanizing, lazy ne'er-do-well. He is as unpolitically correct as they come, and he's a riot. His long-suffering wife, Flo, brings in what little money they have by working as a cleaning woman, and Andy promptly loses it at the horse races or spends it at the pub. The rent is always overdue, and the furniture is constantly being repossessed. Andy's been toned down a good bit in the last 25 years or so. He no longer smokes, and he and Flo no longer engage in domestic fisticuffs, they now see marriage counselors. He still has a huge fan club, and that includes Flo, who really does love her pet. After all, well, they seek out counseling, don't they? Even if all the file drawers in the counselor's office are labeled Cap, Andy is the much put upon heroine of The Devil Wears Prada, the popular 2004 novel by Lauren Weisberger, made into an equally popular 2006 movie starring Anne Hathaway as Andy and Meryl Streep as her boss from you-know-where, Miranda Priestley. Andrea is a recent starry-eyed college graduate with dreams of becoming a serious journalist in New York. Her first job, however, is as an assistant to editor-in-chief Priestley at the fictional-style magazine, Runway. Thrust into the fast-paced world of high fashion, rubbing elbows with the glitterati rather than the literati, and feeling she is losing her soul, Andrea struggles to keep up with the demands of her boss and maintain her own dreams intact. Hilarious and poignant by turns, both book and movie align us squarely with Andy in that determination, with a final, triumphant resolution. Raggedy Ann is the delightful rag doll created by Johnny Gruelle in 1915 for his daughter, Marcella, and introduced to the public in a series of books he wrote and illustrated, beginning in 1918, and later featuring her brother doll, Raggedy Andy. Raggedy Ann is the undisputed leader of the dolls in Marcella's nursery, and she takes her obligations seriously. She is always trying to do the right thing, cheerfully, albeit not always successfully. With her bright red yarn hair, cotton pinafore and big candy heart, proclaiming I love you, and is a delightful addition to the playfields of imagination of children for generations. Popular songs on Andy. A song by Lloyd Cole, a song by Umphreys McGee, a song by the Velvet Underground, a song by The Killers, Andy Warhol, Andy's Last Beer, Andy Stern, a song by Diesel Boy, a song by Bleach, Andy's Chest, Andy's Doin' Time, a song by David Bowie, Andy Euro's Babies, Andy You're a Star. Famous people named Andy. Andy Richter, actor, Andy Williams, musician, Andy Samberg, comedian, Andy Bell, singer, Horace Andy Hines, reggae musician, Andy Summers, musician, Andy Roddick, tennis player, Andy Van Hellemond, hockey player, Andy Griffith, actor, Andy Robustelli, football player, Andy Garca, actor, Andy Taylor, musician, Andy Hurley, drummer, Andy Bathgate, hockey player, Andy Kaufman, Cumdia. Andy Gibb, musician, Andy Pettit, baseball player, Andy Phillip, basketball player, Andy Dick, comic/actor. Andy Warhol, artist, Andy Rooney, news commentator.